What we give you in this example is the cosine of one trig angle function is -2/3. And our angle falls in the second quadrant of pi over 2 to pi. And what we want to find are the exact values for the sine of 2u, the cosine of 2u, and the tangent of 2u using our double angle formulas. So we know our angle falls between pi over 2 and pi. And we give you that the cosine of u is -2/3. So here's our angle. It falls in the second quadrant. So that's our original theta. We're going to go ahead and identify there's a point somewhere out here, x and y, and then a radius here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a right triangle down. So we have an x distance, a y distance, and an r. And then we have our little u, that's our reference angle. So we're going to take this -2 and +3 and identify them as your trig functions for right triangle. This is your adjacent side, and this is going to be your hypotenuse side. So we'll put those in the picture, -2 and +3. Why I chose the x to be a -2 is in the second quadrant, all order pairs for the x have to be a negative. So here's our -2, here's our +3, and we still have this unknown y in our right triangle. So we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem and find that y. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. -2 times -2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract 4 from both sides. 9 minus 4 is 5. Square root 5. And the y has to be a positive in the second quadrant because you're going up. So now we can replace that question mark with the square root of 5. Now we can find the other two trig functions, the sine of u and the cosine of u. The sine of u in right triangle trig is opposite over the hypotenuse. So opposite hypotenuse is the square root of 5 over 3. For tangent in right triangle trig, it's opposite over adjacent. So our opposite we are identified as square root of 5, and here's our adjacent as -square root of 2, or -2. So now we know our cosine, sine, and tangent of these angles. What we're asked to find are the double angles. What is the sine of 2u, the cosine of 2u, and the tangent of 2u? So the sine of 2u, we're going to use this formula right here. So the side we're going to use is the right-hand side. 2 sine of a times the cosine of a. So let's go back up and find those numbers. So here's -2/3, that's our cosine. So we're going to replace it right there. Here's our sine. Square root of 5 over 3. And then we have our 2. I'm going to just go 2 over 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just simplify this equation, this expression, by multiplying across. So 2 times -2 is -4. Square roots of 5. And then 3 times 3 is 9. So we found now the double angle for this function. Now let's find the cosine of 2u. So we have to choose the appropriate formula. You get 3 choices. The first one, the second one, or the third one. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to just choose this third one here. 2 cosine squared of a minus 1. We're going to go ahead and substitute what the cosine of a is, and that's negative 2/3, but we have to square it. And then it's 2 over 1, and then minus 1. Now we need to do some simplifying. So let's go inside the parentheses first. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So what we've done is we've squared that negative 2/3. Now we're going to multiply across. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. And then minus 1. Now we're going to change that 1 to a 9/9 so that we can combine those two fractions together. So we get negative 1/9. So the cosine of 2u is negative 1/9. Our last one is the tangent double angle. So we're going to say 2 tangent of u over 1 minus tangent squared of u. So let's head up to our things that we found, and we're going to use this number right here. Square root of negative over negative 2. Square root of 5 over negative 2. So we're substituting in the tangent into that equation. Now we have some simplifying to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up to the numerator. Notice that this 2 and that 2 will cancel. So you're left with negative square root of 5. And then 1 minus. Now we'll take care of the squared. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is 5. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So now we'll continue simplifying that denominator. I'm going to leave this negative square root of 5 alone. I'm going to change that 1 to 4/4 so that I can combine these two fractions in the denominator together. So 4/4 minus 5/4 is negative 1/4. Now I'm going to go ahead and change that negative square root of 5 to a fraction. And then I'm going to change the division to multiplication and then flip that fraction in the denominator by reciprocating it. Now we multiply across. 4 square roots of 5 over 1 is 4 square roots of 5.